Okay, so now that we've seen the color in the Symphony, let's dive into the Baselight plugin. So I'm going to open up this third sequence, which is the same sequence we've been working on the whole time. It's just reset without the Symphony work we just did. So it's as simple as going to the effect palette like you do with every other effect in Avid, and scroll down to Film Light. Here's the Baselight plugin. You can drop it right on clips. You can drop it on top of other effects by holding Alt down, and you can also drop it on filler layer. So I'm going to drop it on a filler layer to show you this. That's really up to you how you like to work. Some sequences are easy to do it on a filler layer. Some sequences are easier to do it on the clips themselves. Here we are on the filler layer, and you're probably thinking, if I do any color on this, the same color is going to apply across all these shots, which is true. So we don't want to do that. I'll show you how to take care of that. Effect editor, and click on Baselight. And here we are on the UI. Right off the bat, first thing I want to do is separate this shot. So right here, this is our clip timeline, and this is our record timeline of the whole sequence. And as you can tell, they're moving in ratio, perfect ratio right now, because this does go across the whole effect. So I want to separate this because I don't want to do that. Simple as going to Edit, and subdivide all edits. Once I do that, now I have this clip separated, so it's only looking at some clip here, and I have all the clips separated here based on this timeline, and I can scroll easily through all these clips and change. And now I can do color here, I can do color here, I can do color here, and they won't be on the same clip. When I close out the Baselight plugin, you can see here that it also made edits on this fill layer based on the layer below it. So that's pretty awesome, because now I have separate clips on each one, so it's a quick way to do that. Let's do some color. Here are our layers. Our layers form stacks. That's what they call them in Baselight. Here's our color parameters, or our operator parameters, I should say, because they will change as I go through these operators. Video grade, hue shift, soften, sharpen. These are our operators, which we have multiple operators here. We can also right click and change these operators to many other things, including the new base grade that just came out in version 5, which is basically made for HDR. It's pretty amazing. A lot of non-color things like glowing and softening, sharpen, transform, stabilizers. You can put LUTs on here. You can do so much of this, and you can add this. You can change any one of these to those. You can add more if I say insert row or append row. So that's all in one layer. You can also add as many layers as you like. You can go up to here, which is your layer layout, and you can just hit plus, or you can hit shortcut P, and you can just keep going as many as you want. So like right now, I'm just added 26 layers. 26 layers with multiple operators. That's a lot of stuff you can do, and that's not the limit. There is no limit. So that's amazing. This is obviously your monitor. I'm going to add scopes here, so I'm just going to insert a parade and a vetroscope, so to have that. These are all nice, and they work together pretty well to customize your own user setup. And you got a lot of other things going on down here. I can't get into everything right now, but basically I do some color. So I'm going to go up to layer 1, and I'm going to do our typical exposure, contrast, saturation, which happens to be the film grade. So I'm going to expose this, add some contrast and some saturation to get us to a starting point. I'm going to go to the next layer. I like to separate things. You can do multiple operators. I can add video grade here or hue shift or anything else. I like to separate them so I know where I am. So I'm just going to use the video grade as a lift gamma gain to just kind of start shaping this a little bit better. Now, obviously, what we want to do next is separate this clock and just oversaturate the red only in just the clock, not the curtain. So I'm going to go to my next layer. Now, what's great too is you can name these layers. So if I want to name this layer clock, I could do that. I can name this layer color, because this is where we did our lift gamma gain. And layer 1, I'm just going to call exposure. And what's great is in our layer stacks now, you can see we have exposure, color, clock, and our other 26 layers. So if you had, say, clock on like layer 10, and you needed to tweak that, you could jump right there. It's right. You could see it really quick and easy.